Hello everyone. Let us discuss about now. Let us continue without uh, with our topic, that is hydrostatic floats, pressure gauges. Level measuring instruments with the help of pressure determinations. So this one, hydrostatic pressure device. This is the first kind for open tank, and hydrostatic pressure device for the second, that is closed tank. Here we are having coming to the basic principle of this instrument. uh, the pressure that is developed at this point, differential pressure exerted at this point because of these two is determined in this differential pressure gauge, and which is proportional to the head in the tank. For that, we are having a, a setup, a separate air bubbler setup. We have for that we need to send a highly pressurized air, that is pressure regulator. It can be, the source can be a compressor here, and airflow meter, how much air is entering into it, and this air should go slowly into deeper through this pipe, such that the uniformly the bubbles should come slowly at very slowest rate. It should come out of this tank, such that the differential pressure, because of between this at the end of this pipe and this inner inside of the tank, can be recorded and will be in a over a differential pressure gauge, and that is proportional to the head of the or the level of the water or the liquid in the tank. So coming to the parts here, we have a closed tank. This is bubbler tube, airflow meter, pressure regulator. This is air supply, and this is a differential pressure gauge. Now coming to its operation, air to the setup, to the in the tank, we should fix this bubbler air bubbler tube, such that when we air is enter into this bubble through a pressure regulator, airflow meter, and that will reach us to the bottom, and at a slower rate it is coming out, and the differential pressure will be recorded by using a differential pressure gauge, and where by using hydrostatic law, this the whatever the value recorded here, the calibrated value recorded here, will be directly proportional to head of the water or the water level in the tank. So if this differential pressure is decreasing, if the value is decreasing, if it is lesser value, this head is also less. So say for some other purposes, this water we are using this water. So what happens? This liquid level will goes on decreasing. So if it is reaching this last point or about to reach this datum point, then the pressure recorded, the differential pressure recorded here will be zero. So when this is zero, it means that the head of the liquid or the level in the tank, level of the liquid in the tank is zero. So this is how hydrostatic pressure device is applied for closed tank. Now let us see what is actually how the classification is done. Again, we will just revise the points. So we are having direct measurement devices, indirect measurement devices, electric liquid level sensors. In direct measurement devices, we have slight gas, float gauges, like buoyancy methods. In buoyancy method, we have float type liquid level gauge, float shaft liquid level gauge. Float type, we are having some two weights pulleys. In float shaft you have shaft and a float is attached to the pointer. Next, in indirect method, we are having hydrostatic pressure devices, bubbler or purge systems. We call this as purge, PURG, purge systems. Hydrostatic pressure devices for open tanks, hydrostatic pressure devices for closed tanks. Now we are having bubblers in these two cases. Next, we are entering into electric liquid level sensors. uh, Other topics are left here is electric liquid level sensor. Now coming to this rheostat operated by a float. Now uh, by observing, looking at the picture, we can describe the equipment or the instrument. We are having a tank here. There is a tank, and this tank will having some liquid. And I want to find out the level of this liquid with the help of some other some electrical methods. Uh, so here, rheostat type method. Rheostat is operated by a float. Here we have a pointer here, a slider. We call this as a wiper or a slider over a rheostat arrangement. Rheostat is a it is a conductor with as with the principle involved here. It is the change in length will change the resistance, because resistance is given by R is equals to rho L by A, rho L by A. So it is directly proportional to the length. So when the length of this rheostat is changing, the connector point is changing, which is in the circuit. This is a part of the circuit now. This wiper is a part of the circuit now. When this resistance is changing, uh, then what happens? We will find the change in the current supplied through the circuit, current that is passing through the circuit. Now, so based on the magnitude of that current that is passing through the circuit, that will be a measure of level of tank water, or level of a liquid or a fluid in the tank. Now, coming to its operation, we will be setting up this equipment in the tank. So this is a liquid now. Initially it is here, we have the liquid level is here. You have a float like this. So this float got an important this a slider or the wiper having a contact at a point, this point. Now when the level got increased, this slider, because of the slider movement, the contact has changed from this point to this point. During this, the resistance is changing. The resistance in the length of the resistor is changing here. This rheostat length is changing. So as a reason, the length got changed, resistance got changed, the current supplied through this will also change for a given voltage difference. And that so based on that uh, voltage or the current recorded in the circuit will be a measure or will be calibrated to determine what is the level of the liquid. It is the voltage is calibrated to determine the liquid level. Now coming to the application, when controlling and monitoring of liquid level in the tank is to be done from a control room situated at a distance. So at that time this method is applied. So when I want to sit far away from this place, so this voltage recording can be This can be done with this can be increased. So by far away, sitting away from the tank is situated some other place, and this I want to check the level of the water. So this can be increased when we increase the length of this conductor, these wires. So we can determine the pressure, the tank levels with reference to this voltmeter reading. So this is how a rheostat and a float rheostat with a float is assembled to join together to find the level of liquid in the tank. The next type of electrical method to distinguish to describe the level of liquid in the tank. Here we have the principle involved here is depending on the dielectric constant that is present between two capacitor plates will describe the charges. It means the capacitance. So the capacitance here it is uh, when the dielectric constant increases, the capacitance increases. So that principle is used here. Here that the liquid is a dielectric constant, some medium here it is. So when that liquid level is increasing, uh, dielectric constant between the two electrons will increase, and when dielectric constant increases, the capacitance will also increase. Based on the capacitance output value recorded, the level of the liquid will be determined. Now coming to the description of this, we are having two types here. Here, metallic tank. This metallic, one of the metallic wall of the metallic tank will be considered as a fixed plate of the capacitor, and this is also fixed plate. Between these two, you are having the dielectric constant, that is liquid. Second type, it is a non-metallic tank. You are having two capacitor plates, and dielectric constant is in between these two. So if the liquid level is increasing, the dielectric constant is also increasing, and this is given to the output value. Now, you have a tank, you have only a single plate. Two plates are there, but this is metallic. Now, in the case of non-metallic, you have two plates, and this is a liquid and liquid. Next. So, this output lids are drawn from the insulated metal electrodes. Metal electrodes are insulated. They are drawn with lead wires. For non-conductive liquids, the electrode and the tank wall from the plates of the parallel plate capacitor with liquid between them acting as dielectric. See the electrode and the tank wall. Electrode, this is electrode here, and the tank wall from the plates of a parallel plate capacitors form a plate. Now these two will form a parallel plate. So this is in the case of non-conductive liquids. They are non-conductive liquids. Now in the case of conductive liquids, the electrodes and the liquid form the plate of the parallel. Electrodes and the liquid will form the plate of the parallel plate capacitor. Plate of the parallel plate capacitor. And in this second case, the electrodes and the liquid, these two electrodes, and the liquid will form the plate of the plate of the parallel plate capacitor, and the insulation between them acts as a dielectric. Insulation between them act as a dielectric constant. The insulation that is present between them will act as a dielectric constant. So, for uh, not for non-conducting materials, liquids, non-conducting liquids, the liquid itself is a dielectric medium. For conducting liquids, we will be having some insulation material that will be acting as a dielectric medium. Now, in metallic tanks, in this metallic tanks, only the insulated metal electrodes is there in this arrangement. Only insulated metal electrode is there in this arrangement. The gap between these electrodes and the wall of the tank should be even. Here, this gap should be even. Here, there should not be any distinguish between discrimination between the gaps. Here, if it is length L, here also it should be the length L. This arrangement can be used for both non-conductive and conductive type of level measurement. So we are having two types here: conductive type, non-conductive type. The liquids that we are using in the the level measurements, whether they are conductive type, non-conductive type of liquids. So depending on that, we use the insulation materials, whether we have to use insulation materials or not, that will depend on this. Now, for a non-conductive liquids, the electrode and the tank wall, this electrode and the tank wall form the plates of the parallel plate capacitor, and the liquid between them acting as a dielectric medium. Now, this liquid is the dielectric medium for non-conductive type of liquids. Now, for conductive type of liquids, the electrodes and the liquid will form. For conductive type, these electrodes and the liquid will form, the plates of the parallel plate capacitor. Electrode and the liquid will form the plates of the parallel plate capacitor, and the insulation between them acts as dielectric. See, in the case of conducting liquids, you are having this electrode and you will be having some insulating material over this electrode, and this liquid itself is the one more plate. It is considered as other plate for capacitor. So that's why this is a metal tank. Now in the case of a non-metal tank, you are having two capacitor plates. For metal tank, for this type of materials, for conductive type of materials, you will be having metal tanks. For non-conductive type, you will be having this type. In non-metallic tanks, for example, here in non-metal tanks, in this case, two insulated metal electrodes are immersed in the liquid whose level is to be measured. See, these two are immersed whose level is to be determined. The gap between these two insulated electrodes should be the constant. Now, the gap between them is constant, and these two electrodes act as two plates of the parallel plate capacitor. These two electrodes will act as two parallel plates of the capacitor. Depending on the liquid level, corresponding amount of capacitance is generated in the system. Depending on the liquid level, corresponding amount of capacitance is generated in the system. Greater the liquid level, larger is the capacitance, and vice versa. Because this is a non-conducting, so when the liquid level is greater, greater the liquid level, the conductivity between these two will be high, the capacitance will be high. The capacitance output, when calibrated, becomes the measure of liquid level in the tank. And the capacitance output will be the measure of liquid level output in the tank. Very simple. Here we are having uh, conducting for conducting materials, non-conducting materials, it is different. For conducting type of liquids, liquid itself is one surface, and we will be having one more electrode. So that electrode will be having some insulation material. There should not be any contact between these two. It is an insulation material. So that is the system now. So for non-conducting type, conducting type, we are having that liquid itself is a dielectric medium. In conducting type, insulation is a dielectric medium. In non-conducting type, liquid itself is a dielectric medium. This is only the major difference. And the remaining here it is, you are having a metal tank, a non-metal tank. It depends. It goes with whether it is a conducting type of liquid or non-conducting type of liquid. That's it. Next, the last, the last type with respect to electrical method of measuring the liquid level inside the tank. So that is gamma ray liquid level sensor. Gamma ray liquid level sensor. So gamma ray, there is a source. We are having a tank here. Coming to its description, a tank. You are having a liquid here, a gamma ray emitter, and this is the receiver output to the counter. Now, Geiser Muller tube gamma ray sensor. It is called as a gamma ray sensor will be there. So gamma ray emitter is there, gamma ray emitter is there, and you are having a gamma ray sensor is there. It will absorb the gamma rays. It will sense the gamma rays. Now you are having this liquid here. This liquid uh, will get these gamma rays are depending on the liquid level. The strength of gamma rays that are received by this receiver will be will depend. If this liquid level is too high, this almost all the gamma rays may not reach this sensor. Only a few will reach the sensor. If the liquid level is less, the gamma rays that are reaching this sensor will be high. Based on that, so this will happen. Now coming to its description, the main parts of this tank, this gamma ray liquid level sensor is a tank containing the liquid whose level is to be measured. Next, gamma ray source fitted at the bottom of the tank. You have a gamma uh, source of gamma rays. Next, a gamma ray sensor. These three are the important parts. Next, coming to its operation, when the level of the liquid in the tank is to be measured, the gamma ray source is made to give out gamma rays, and these rays pass through the liquid in the tank and reach the sensor. That will pass through the liquid and it will reach the sensor. The intensity of gamma rays sensed by the gamma ray sensor is proportional to the liquid level in the tank. The intensity of gamma rays that are reached to the sensor is proportional to, as we discussed. If the level of the liquid is more, the intensity of gamma rays that are reaching this sensor is high. If the level is less, the intensity of the gamma rays that are reaching this sensor is less. And the output value or the output value that received by this gamma ray sensor will be calibrated for determining the level of liquid in the tanks. So this is how the gamma ray liquid level sensor works. And we have completed the flow measure, the level measuring instruments, measurements of liquid levels and their importance. We have seen the types, different types, direct method, indirect measurement devices, and electrical liquid level sensors, direct measurements, we are using just naked observation or buoyancy methods. Indirect method, we are using hydrostatic law and in electric liquid level sensors. We use rheostat, capacitive, and gamma ray. So rheostat, it is with resistance. Capacitive, it is also with respect to the direct constant medium that is present in between the two parallel plates. Gamma ray liquid level sensor is depends on the intensity of gamma rays that are absorbed by or that are reached to the sensor. Depending on that, the gamma ray liquid level sensor will work. So there can be some important questions can be asked on this one. What is a liquid level? That's the first type of question. And what is the difference between the direct and indirect liquid level measuring devices? What is the difference between direct type, indirect type? What is the difference? In direct type, we are having uh, the liquid is directly in contact with the instrument. In indirect type, we measure the pressures. We use the hydrostatic pressure lines, and we indirectly we will find we analyze that the head of the liquid with the determining pressure. In direct type, the system itself is linked to the instrument, and the instrument with the change in means the liquid is in contact with the instrument, and with the change in the liquid instrument, we will find the direct type of, just like someone is telling us that liquid level is increasing or decreasing. In the second case, we need to analyze depending on the pressure that is indicated here. That is indirect method. Next, and the basic principles involved um, behind the electric liquid level sensor. So any question can be asked based on these things. The final important question is, how can gamma rays be used to measure liquid level? How can gamma rays be used to measure liquid levels?